Do you have any tips for guitarists? It can be about practice, performance, anything you want.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to say there. Tips are always good. I think if I would say one thing, probably that's because something I'm working on, thinking about quite a lot at the moment, is the process of learning and then going and performing, which is somehow really the thing, because you can play really well, but if it's difficult for a lot of people to really do well in the performance. And I think that partly has to do with that as we're studying, we are somehow always exposed to a lot of, say, criticism. We have to kind of be critical and try to see what we want to do. But then if we bring that attitude too much on the stage, we are very much perplexed with that, and that stops us. One kind of have to have that aim that once you do go and perform, you have to accept the state your learning process is in at the moment, and turn that into a very positive thing, that sort of, now this is what we do. So you take away that sort of negative exposure. And something that I'm very fond of the conductor Sergio Celibidache. He died some, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. He's a Romanian conductor, and he talked a lot about those things, and he had very different ways of preparing things. And he would in rehearsals be very particular about things, very in detail work everything out, really work it out. But for him, ideally, also for the orchestra, he wanted to have also time in the end to forget it all. So you have to forget everything you learned, and then you go on stage and just do it. And it's kind of a process. He also taught, I was just reading an interview this morning with Celibidache, and he was talking about that we have to, when we're going to perform, we cannot, it has nothing to do with memory, because we often think that we prepare something and we use that from our memory. Now, in the moment of performing, one has to be very much in contact with the real sound, with the real working in the moment. Because if we bring a memory, an idea about how it's going to sound, and it doesn't turn out that way, because it never turns out the same, we're going to be perplexed by a sort of conflict between what is sounding and how you want it to sound. So in the moment of performance, even if while you're practicing and all that, we are so particular about things, we really want to this and this, when we perform, we just really have to let things go and flow more. This is something that I'm very occupied with at the moment. I'm thinking about that a lot, and we just had a performance, had a concert last night together with my wife, Lara Fraticelli. She's also a guitarist. We played some duos, we played some solos, and it was quite interesting to. It was kind of a mix of both. I was really both experiencing that sort of perplexed feeling of sort of not being happy, and also experiencing the other one, which is much more pleasant, and you play much better when that happens. This might be kind of like abstract or something like that, but I think this is something we could really all learn a lot from this, to try to have another attitude. And also, last thing, again, something that, of course, my favorite conductor, again, Celibidache, talked about it, is that there is a risk to always be a lot of no, not like that, not like that, not like this, no, don't do that. Also, when we're having lessons, that is always a lot of negative again. But it's important to remember that rather than just being no, remember that it's the kind of also that moment when we say yes. It's almost one yes only, when we really feel like, this is really working. So sometimes it's important to not just look for those no's, but to be very much looking for that yes. When you say, yes, this is how I like it. This is how it should be. This is the fingering, all that. And even a kind of yes in the sense that we move from something, say we're not really happy with it, but we don't know why. And that doesn't always help us in a sense, because, okay, we know this no good, right? But it's try to find direction in which we want to go and move towards that one big yes. And that should rather be out of understanding this rather than just being no, 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 no. So from all those no's, move towards that one big yes. And that's when it's fun too. So it's kind of like looking for that enthusiasm in what we do too. I guess what was that author again? I'm losing it now. Joseph Campbell, right? He said that about just follow your beliefs and doors will open. And I don't know. That's the greatest tip, I think. For me, one of the greatest. Because if you always look for your bliss, what you really like, then things gets much more fun. And also, if you prepare something with joy, with all that, then outcome is not the most important also. Even if you go, prepare the JFA. If you had fun, even if you don't win, it's okay because you had fun.